Hello everyone. My name is Anna. I'm a Japanese university student. On weekends, I work part-time as a shrine maiden at a shrine. I guide people who visit the shrine and sell amulets and talismans. I'll be your guide this time. This channel introduces things you should know about Japan and Japanese people for those who are interested in Japanese culture and customs, or who are thinking of traveling to Japan. We provide information unique to Japan, including culture, food, art, lifestyle, and tourism. The theme this time is the 7 Lucky Gods. 7 Lucky Gods is a traditional Japanese event in which people visit shrines and temples that enshrine 7 gods and pray for happiness in the year ahead. It is often held at the beginning of the year, during the first 7 days of January, but can be enjoyed throughout the year. It is believed that visiting the 7 lucky gods will bring you good luck and fortune. It is a traditional Japanese good luck tour. Although it is called a tour, it is a short tour that takes about 2 hours and involves visiting the temples and shrines that enshrine the 7 lucky gods and collecting stamps at each location. It is said that by making a pilgrimage to the 7 gods of good fortune, one will be rid of 7 misfortunes and receive 7 blessings. The 7 misfortunes include the following cases. And 7 gods are in charge of 7 blessings. For this reason, the 7 gods of good fortune are also known as the Big Hero 7 of Japan. Here, we will talk about the origins of the 7 lucky gods. Belief in the 7 lucky gods is a folk belief that is said to have begun in Kyoto towards the end of the Muromachi period. The trigger for this was a civil war that broke out in Kyoto known as the Unin War. The Unin War was a major civil war in Japan that lasted from 1467 to 1477, a period of 11 years. After 11 years of fighting, Kyoto was reduced to burnt ruins. The situation was so tragic that nobles and townspeople fled the city. Many of Kyoto's temples and buildings were destroyed. The temples and buildings that exist today are reconstructed versions. It is also believed that historical documents and poetry collections of cultural value were burned as well. If the Unin War had not occurred, cultural buildings and documents would still remain in Kyoto, and we might have made different discoveries. On the other hand, as nobles and townspeople fled Kyoto, Kyoto culture spread to the provinces, and towns known as Little Kyotos developed. This Unin War sparked conflict to spread to the provinces, marking the beginning of Japan's warring states period. At the end of the Muromachi period, a time of constant wars, common people also sought the protection of the gods. Also, around this time, commerce began to take off and individuals began to pray for and seek profit. Against this backdrop, belief in gods of fortune became popular, and the 7 lucky gods were formed by gathering together various gods of fortune that were popular at the time. In the early Edo period, belief in the 7 lucky gods was spread as part of governing policies in Edo, and it quickly spread to common people, especially merchants. As symbols of auspicious events, the 7 lucky gods became a popular subject for paintings and sculptures, and the 7 lucky gods are depicted in ukiyo-e prints riding on treasure ships. At first, the members of the 7 lucky gods changed frequently, but by the late Edo period, the current members were established and the custom of visiting temples and shrines, known as visiting the 7 lucky gods, was established. This belief in the 7 lucky gods represents the Japanese view of religion. This is the idea of benefits in this life. These worldly benefits are the blessings and happiness one can obtain in this life by believing in and practicing the teachings of Buddhism. Many religions preach about what happens after death. Christianity in particular teaches that no matter how much suffering you are experiencing now, there is no benefit in this life, and that you will only be saved after you die. The original Buddhism also denied any benefits in this life. Both religions preach letting go of attachments to this world. Buddhist doctrines are thought to be highly rational, but still, for ordinary people, it was a way of thinking that offered little relief. You won't be saved in this life, but if you work hard and accumulate virtue you can attain Buddhahood in the next life. In Japan during the Heian period, esoteric Buddhism was popular. Esoteric Buddhism developed Buddhist teachings and promised worldly benefits through rituals, prayers, and worship of gods and Buddhas. Of course, since esoteric Buddhism is a form of Buddhism, that is not its ultimate goal. However, the people would not follow if they suddenly preached about non-attachment and enlightenment, so the aim was to first grant worldly benefits, convince them of the correctness of Buddhism, and gain their faith. Unlike folk religions and Shintoism, which contain elements of nature worship, merchants at the time may have visited the shrine in search of a god who would protect their business and financial fortunes in the unstable social situation following the long civil war known as the Unin War. Of these 7 lucky gods, only one is an ancient Japanese god. The other 6 are foreign gods. Why were gods and Buddhas from various religions made into Japanese gods? This is closely related to the characteristics of Japanese religious views and culture. Japanese Shinto is a polytheistic religion that sees its 8 million gods in nature and natural phenomena such as mountains and rivers, gods from mythology, and people who died with grudges. There is not much of a business element to be found in Shinto. Inari, the god best known as the god of prosperous business, was originally the god of rice, or agriculture, and it is said that it was only in the Middle Ages that he became the god of business and industry in general. It is said that Fushimi Inari Taisha, the head temple in Kyoto, also became popular with merchants during the Edo period. So perhaps merchants praying for prosperous business in times of war sought salvation from foreign gods. In Japanese Shintoism, there is a concept of 8 million gods, and it is said that gods reside in all things. Therefore, there was a flexible attitude of incorporating foreign gods if they were good. In addition, Japan had a long-standing custom of Shinbutsu Shugo. This was a way of fusing Buddhism and Shintoism, where ancient Japanese gods and Buddhist gods coexisted and influenced each other. And auspicious gods were gathered together regardless of nationality. The gods of India and China were already widely worshipped through Buddhism, and it was thought that by gathering auspicious gods, the benefits would be further increased. Rather than thinking about which religion is correct, Japanese people tended to think, if we combine everyone's faiths, something better will happen. In this way, the 7 lucky gods were born out of Japan's tolerant religious views and culture that emphasizes worldly benefits. Far from being problematic in introducing foreign deities, the idea was that gods who bring us all good fortune are most welcome. Japanese people have a culture of accepting things from anywhere, as long as they are good things. Japanese people believe in all gods, but they do not accept all of the religious doctrines as they are. They will not accept doctrines that contradict reality, are irrational, or are incompatible with their own morality. When you cook faith, skepticism, and realism in a pot, you get the Japanese view of religion. Now, let's take a look at the 7 gods one by one. First up is Ebisu. Ebisu is the only Japanese origin deity of the 7 lucky gods. He is depicted holding a fishing rod in his right hand and a seed bream in his left hand. This image is so popular that he is used as the illustration for fishing flags. He was originally worshipped as the god of abundant catches, and eventually his worship spread to farmers and merchants as well, becoming the god of business for merchants and the god of rice fields and mountains for farmers, and the god of good harvests. Its roots are several, but it is often said to be Koto Shiranushi, the son of Okunanushi, who brought prosperity to the earthly world. Koto Shiranushi was a gentle, laid-back god who loved fishing. In an attempt to rule the prosperous earth themselves, Amaterasu Amakami, a god in the heavens, sent an envoy to ask Okuninushi to hand over the country to her. This is the story of Kuniyuzuri, the greatest event in Japanese mythology. However, Okuninushi was not convinced, and continued to appease each visiting messenger one by one. Finally, Amaterasu, losing patience, dispatched Takamikazuchi, the war god and sword god. At this point, Okuninushi tried to get away with it by saying, "I'll have to ask my son, Koto Shiranushi," but he decided to bring Koto Shiranushi over in an instant. At that moment, Koto Shiranushi's boat, which he had been enjoying a leisurely fishing trip, was brought over. As expected, he was too strong an opponent, so Koto Shiranushi readily agreed to cede the country. Then, perhaps too scared, he turned the boat he was on over and hid inside it. Afterwards, Okunenushi's other son, Takemanakata, appeared and fought Takamikazuchi, but Takemanakata was completely defeated. Unable to refuse any more, Okunenushi decided to cede the earthly world to Amaterasu. As a condition, he asked that a magnificent shrine be built for him, and that he would retire there. It was at this time that Azumo Taisha Shrine was built. There is a place called Ebisu in Tokyo, and it is also the name of a station on the Yamanote line. The origin of this place name is related to Ebisu beer that was born in the Meiji era. In the 1880s, the Japan Beer Brewing Company, now Sapporo Beer, released the beer brand Ebisu beer. The name was a tribute to the god Ebisu, who symbolizes prosperity in business and good fortune. This beer was a big hit nationwide, and the recognition of the Ebisu brand skyrocketed. As a result, the place name around the factory also came to be called Ebisu, and it was also adopted as the station name. In 1890, Japan Beer released Ebisu beer. In 1901, the freight-only station Ebisu Station was opened. This is the predecessor of the current Ebisu Station. The Ebisu statue was installed in front of the station to symbolize the history and identity of the city. This statue was installed in 1999. The background to this was the opening of Ebisu Garden Place in 1994. Built on the site of a former brewery, this complex has redefined Ebisu as a trend-setting area. In Japan, it is said that in October, gods from all over the country gather at Azumo Taisha Shrine in Azumo, Shirmane Prefecture, and during that time, some gods stay on the land and watch over the house. This is because it would be unsettling if the gods were absent during the harvest season of rice and other crops. These gods who watch over the house and look after it are called Ruzagami. Daikoku protects households, Ebisu protects merchants, and in the case of farming families, it is often both. Next is Daikokutin. Daikokutin is a god that originated in India and was originally called Mahakala in Hinduism. Mahakala is a god created by Buddhism to rival Shiva, the most powerful Hindu god, and is, in a sense, the great general of Buddhism. His design borrowed the exact appearance of Shiva, and he was depicted trampling on Hindu gods such as Shiva to distinguish him as a Buddhist god rather than a Hindu one. As he was brought to Japan via China, he changed from his violent destructive appearance to his current gentle form. He also became syncretized with the Japanese god Okunenushi no Makoto, and came to be worshipped as a god who bestows food and treasures. He wears a hood, and the bag he carries on his left shoulder represents treasure, the magic mallet he holds in his right hand represents gushing wealth, and the straw rice sack he holds under his feet represents a good harvest. After coming to Japan, Daikokutin was later syncretized with Okunenushi around the Heian period. Okunenushi is the god of Azumo, known for his nation creation myth, but it is said that the two gradually became seen as one and the same simply because Daikoku and Okuni are pronounced the same in Japanese. Also, because Okyunanushi was often depicted carrying a bag, Daikokutin in Japan began to be depicted not with the fierce expression of the Indian Mahakala, but carrying the bag he had offered to Okyunanushi. In other words, among the 7 lucky gods, Daikokutin and Ebisu are in a parent-child relationship. It is said that Daikokutin is the leader of the 7 lucky gods. Daikokutin is depicted on the old 1 yen note issued in 1885. The benefits it brings are as follows. Abundant harvest, belief in a good harvest. Prosperity in business, belief in business development. Improved financial luck, belief in an increase in assets. Matchmaking, belief in finding a good match. Academic success, belief in academic success and passing exams. Good luck, belief in improving one's fortunes. Next is Benzaiten. Benzaiten is the Hindu goddess Sarasvati. She is the wife of the creator god Brahma and is said to be the incarnation of the real Sarasvati river. She is said to be a goddess who brings talents such as music and words, which are associated with flowing things from the murmuring of the flowing river. She is the only goddess among the 7 lucky gods. She is often depicted as a heavenly maiden holding a traditional musical instrument called a biwa. Benzaiten is not only known for her blessings such as wealth, money, art, and learning, but she is also a water goddess and has been worshipped as the guardian deity of agriculture and fishing. For this reason, she is often enshrined in shrines near water. Good luck with money, prosperity in business. As a god of wealth and treasure, he is worshipped by people who wish for better luck with money and prosperity in business. Achievement in the arts and academics, he is worshipped in hopes of improving talent in music, art, and academics, and for academic success and passing exams. Beauty and health, he is associated with pure water, and is worshipped by women in particular as a god who brings beauty and health. Let me introduce you to Zenyirai Benzaiten. This shrine is located in Kamakura, Kanagawa Prefecture. It is known as Zenyirai Benzaiten because it is said that washing coins in the pure water in the cave in the precincts will increase them. The origin of the shrine's founding is that Minamoto no Yoritomo held a memorial service for the gods and Buddha based on a prophecy he received in a dream. All you have to do is get a special fortune slip, 200 yen, at the shrine office and dip it in the water of the dragon god behind the main building. Then, the letters that tell your fortune will gradually appear. There is no set amount of money that can be washed at Zenyirai Benzaiten. It is common to put coins in a colander provided by the shrine and immerse them in the well to purify them. It is common to wash coins at Zenyirai Benzaiten. Put the coins from your wallet into the colander and purify them by pouring the water from the well with a ladle. When washing bills, wet the edge a little and wipe it off immediately. It is said that the sooner you spend the washed money, the greater the benefits. Next is Bishamonten. As one of the 4 heavenly kings of Buddhism, he is the guardian deity who protects the north. The 4 heavenly kings are the guardian deities in Buddhism who protect the 4 directions: east, west, south, and north. They refer to Jikakutin, Sokotin, Kamakutin, and Tamonten. The 4 heavenly kings are responsible for protecting the teachings of Buddhism and protecting people from disasters. Jikakutin, protector of the east, supporting the country. Sokotin, protector of the south, promoting the growth of Buddhism. Kamakutin, protector of the West, seeing things from a broad perspective and guiding people. Tamonten, protector of the North, listening to and spreading the Buddhism. The leader of this team of 4 heavenly kings is Tamonten, and his name during solo activities is Bishamonten. He is an entity that was adopted into Buddhism from Kabura, the Hindu god of treasure in ancient India. Having the appearance of a warrior, it is known as a god of war. While the other deities bring happiness and good luck, Bishamonten is also known as playing a role to get rid of the evil spirits. The benefits of Bishamonten include luck with money, better fortune, prosperity in business, winning, prayers for passing exams, good health and longevity, and protection from evil. In addition, there are 10 types of blessings that can be obtained by believing in Bishamonten. Less than 10 types of blessings. 1. Endless blessings, blessings that never end. 2. The blessings of public respect, blessings of being loved by everyone. 3. The blessings of wisdom, blessings of judging things correctly through wisdom. 4. The blessings of longevity, blessings of living a long life. 5. The blessings of many relatives, blessings of being trusted by those around you. 6. The blessings of victory, blessings of winning a competition. 7. The blessings of nobility in the fields, blessings of leading the fields to a good harvest. 8. The blessings of silkworm farming, blessings of success in the family business. 9. The blessings of good knowledge, blessings of learning good teachings. 10. The blessings of enlightenment, blessings of attaining enlightenment. Bishamonten's wife is Kishoten. Kishoten was originally one of the 7 lucky gods, but she gradually lost popularity to Benzaiten and was removed from her position. Yasuji Kenshin was a powerful and revered daimyo, feudal lord, during Japan's Sengoku period, known for his military prowess and strong sense of justice. He was nicknamed the Dragon of Ekigo and was famous for his strategic brilliance and unwavering dedication to his beliefs. Deeply religious. He was a devout Buddhist and a strong believer in Bishamonten, a Buddhist deity, which is believed to have influenced his strong moral compass and dedication to his beliefs. Yasuji Kenshin called himself the incarnation of Bishamonten and told his retainers to believe the same. This suggests that Yasuji Kenshin prayed for lasting military fortune and peace throughout the world with the help of Bishamonten's power. It is said that Yasuji Kenshin won many battles with the protection of Bishamonten. Next is the Jurajin. Jurajin is a Chinese Taoist deity and an incarnation of Canopus. Canopus. It is the second brightest first magnitude star in the entire sky. It is the alpha star in the constellation Leotis, and is the second brightest star in the sky after Sirius, excluding the Sun. Color, it is naturally white, but appears closer to the horizon and may appear reddish due to atmospheric effects. Canopus is not visible in many parts of the northern hemisphere as it does not rise above the horizon. As it only appears near the southern horizon, it is difficult to see in urban areas unless there is a clear southern view. It is particularly difficult to see where high-rise buildings or mountains block the view. Old Man of the South Pole. The star is said to be visible only when the world is in peace, and the star was later deified as the star Jurajin, who is worshipped as a symbol of longevity and happiness. A Taoist hermit, called Canopus, is believed to be an incarnation of the star. This star is easy to find in the southern hemisphere, as it appears low in the southern sky, but very difficult to find in the northern hemisphere regions, and is only visible when various conditions are right, so it is said that if you see this star you will live a long life. Jurajin is represented as a short man with a long head, long gray hair, a staff with a scroll attached to it in his right hand and a peach in his left hand, accompanied by a stag. The stag is a symbol of longevity and harmony with nature, while the peach is also said to be a symbol of longevity, the peach of immortality. A scroll describing the length of a person's lifespan is tied to a staff held in the hand. Benefits. It is believed to prolong life, cure various illnesses and confer good fortune. Furthermore, they are loved as protectors of people's safety and health. Next is Fukuro Kuju. A god who embodies the 3 ideal virtues of happiness, wealth, and longevity in Chinese Taoism. Fukurokuju is short, has a long head and a long beard, carries a sutra scroll tied to a staff, and is accompanied by a crane. In Chinese Taoism, Fukurokuju and Jurajin are considered to be the same person, incarnations of the star Nankyoku Rajan, but in Japan they are worshipped as separate gods and the seven lucky gods. During the Chinese New Year, the custom remains of displaying a three-star diagram depicting good fortune, wealth, and longevity, offering offerings, and praying for happiness for the year to come. Here are the meanings and benefits embedded in each character of Fukurokuju's name. Fuku, happiness, to be blessed with descendants. Roku, status and treasure, to be blessed with money. Ju, longevity, to live a long and healthy life. Even if you are not flashy, you will be happy if you are blessed with children, have no financial shortages, and live a long and healthy life, and Fukurokuju teaches that you can be happy enough if you continue to use your head and learn without being greedy. While Fukurokuju is a god who possesses the three virtues, happiness, wealth, and longevity, Jurajin is said to be the god who only governs longevity. Next is Buddha. Buddha is the only deity who actually existed. It's said to be modeled after a Chinese monk. Round belly and kind smile, he's represented as the deity of happiness. He carries a large sack, and that is said to be a sack of patience. It represents how much he can bear. Buddha is said to have been a high priest and Zen monk named Keishi who lived in Fenghua County, Zhejiang Province during the Five Dynasties period in China. Buddha carried a large bag in which he put food and daily necessities, a walking stick, and a large fan in his hand. He was short in stature but had a pot belly, was half naked, wore rough clothing, and was always smiling. He was known for being a happy-go-lucky monk who enjoyed simple poverty, traveled around the country, played with children, and gave up alcohol. He was also said to be able to predict people's good and bad fortune, and the weather, such as the weather. Buddha passed away on March 3, 916, at an advanced age, but his age is unknown. In China, Buddha was commonly worshipped as an incarnation of Maitreya Bodhisattva, and became widely loved through paintings, carvings, and ornaments. After being introduced to Japan, he became popular and worshipped as a god of good fortune who bestows purity, innocence, and noble magnanimity on people, even appearing in Zen paintings and as ornaments. Buddha is believed to bring good fortune such as happiness for the home and marital harmony. He is worshipped as a god of patience and harmony, kindness, happiness, and safety in the home, and a god of foresight and good fortune, and is said to bring good fortune by nurturing dreams, cultivating character, building a happy family, and bringing good fortune. He is said to have the ability to foresee things and to always predict good and bad fortune. The bag Buddha holds is said to contain things he has received as alms and treasures that bring good fortune. Buddha is said to have always had a smile on his face and an optimistic personality, and is loved by many people as a god with a big heart. This time, Anna brought you the theme of the 7 lucky gods. We talked about the 7 gods familiar to Japanese people, and the traditional Japanese event of visiting the 7 gods at the beginning of the year and praying for happiness in the year. This tour of the 7 lucky gods takes place during the first 7 days of January. But you can also enjoy it all year round. However, in that case, you may not be able to get a stamp or there may not be a guide, and some shrines may not even have a caretaker. But you can still visit at your leisure when there are not many people around, and enjoy the statues of the 7 lucky gods made of stone or wood. Every region has the 7 lucky gods, so it's a good idea to ask at the hotel or in you're staying at. I think you'll have a wonderful time experiencing Japanese traditions in a short amount of time. Thank you for listening to my talk today. See you again on the next topic.